A royal exit. My weekend is a blur. Monday is a blur. All I can do is focus on the clock and anticipate the sound of the dismissal bell. Ring! Like a ninja in stealth mode, I make my way to the cafeteria in record time. Hopefully the afters will get here soon so I can tell them that I have to hurry over to the carpool line and catch my ride with Chloe. I feel a flutter in my stomach when I think of those two words, carpool line. I will finally, for the first time ever, get to stand out in front of the building like a normal person. Good, I'm glad you're here, Lexa marches into the room. Lots to plan. Maddie follows right on her heels, sipping from her orange juice box. What if you surprise someone so much that they die from surprise? Is that possible? Google it, Lexa answers. Actually, she shouldn't Google that. Graham has flung open the door and joins them mid-conversation. The words surprise and die together in a search would turn up some disturbing stuff. And we are trying to be good role models for Maddie. He bops her on the head. Your dad is forcing us, kiddo. I have to leave, I blurt out. The room goes quiet. Lexa finally breaks the icy silence. But you weren't here yesterday. Graham wasn't either. No one tells me anything. Maybe this is my window, a chance to ask Graham about what happened with Mom. Why weren't you here yesterday? Does it matter? He looks around at all of us. Do you care? Yes, Lexa says. Yes, I say. My orange juice expires today. Maddie isn't quite following along with the conversation. Through the cafeteria window, I see a hand waving. It's Chloe. Let's go, she mouths to me. You guys, I'm sorry. I really have to go. I scramble around to gather my things. Maddie tugs on my sleeve. But you can't leave school now. The sun is still really high in the sky. What if you get a sunburn? This makes me smile. I'll ask for sunscreen, promise. But I have a new awesome sauce idea. Lexa crosses her arms. This one we can all do together. I rush towards the door. Great, we can all work on it next week. We have to. Next Friday, to be specific, that's her birthday. I call out over my shoulder. Whose birthday? Frances, silly. Maddie tilts her head. You always remember. Oh, sheesh. How could I forget? I'm the one who gets something for her every year. Nobody else does. So it's sweet that Lexa wants us all to do something together. Sounds great, I call as the door closes behind me. I join up with Chloe and we walk toward the front door of the school, side by side. I feel bad about leaving them, especially since Graham might have opened up about what happened with Mom. But right now my insides fill with butterflies as I push through the double doors and do something I have longed for. Wait in the carpool line. Things I have never done. There's a whole list here. Number 1, waited for the carpool. 2, ridden a bike home from school. 3, grabbed the house key from under a fake rock and let myself in while my parents were at work. 4, watched a 3 o'clock cartoon during the school year. 5, burst through the front door after school and hurried to change into my play clothes. 6, been late for school. 7, felt like a normal kid. 8, ever admitted this to Mom. I don't know all the rules. So, how does this work? Just do what everyone else is doing, Chloe says, but maybe stop bouncing on your toes so much. Stop bouncing, got it. The mob of kids stands in a straight line. When a parent pulls up, the teacher calls out the student's name. They step forward, wave to the crowd, get in the car, and their fabulous life gets underway. Why is everyone so calm, I ask. She shrugs. It's just a car, pretty boring stuff. Boring? She folds her arms. Have you ever ridden a bus home? Me? She realizes her mistake. Oh, sorry, but you've at least been on the bus for a field trip, and you know how awesome bus rides are. Can you imagine doing that every day? It had never occurred to me that the carpoolers might be jealous of the bus riders. I guess that whole grass is greener saying is true for school transportation too. Carpooling or riding a bus, I'd love to do either one every day. Some students look over at me. Apparently I'm not fitting in with their relaxed vibe. I lean in closer to Chloe. Sorry, I'm just so excited and wow, the sun. I shade my eyes. Maddie was right. The sun is bright this time of day. Chloe laughs. It's like you're an alien visiting a foreign planet. I nod eagerly. I come in peace. So who is Maddie, she asks. Maddie is this girl. She's in second grade. You probably don't know her. Maddie Vicario? The teacher's kid? Yeah, that's her. She gave you advice about the carpool line? Are you two friends? A second grader? She smirks like she's making a joke. I wave her off. No, it's more like I babysit her after school. If she's not with the rest of us, Mr. Vicario won't let her roam around. So you roam around with the teacher's kids after school? I'm not really sure how to answer this. Even when Chloe and I were friends, I never talked to her about my after-school life. But what else can I say? Yep. And now I'm bouncing on my toes again, but this time it's to try to spot Chloe's mom in the line of cars and hopefully get out of this conversation. Chloe says softly, cool. I stop bouncing and smile at her. Yeah, it is pretty cool. Chloe, Mr. Duncan waves her over. I'm not sure what to do. My name wasn't called, so technically I should still be standing in this calm, horizontal line. I freeze. Chloe looks back. Hurry! She grabs my elbow and pulls me in closer. Allie's coming home with me. Mr. Duncan looks at me and holds out his hand. Note? I need a note? Chloe wrinkles her forehead. Didn't you get your mom to write a note giving you permission? I feel my stomach drop. I didn't know I had to. This is my first time. Shaking his head, Mr. Duncan announces quite loudly, I might add, no leaving with another parent without a note. That's the rule. My face turns hot. How could this whole wonderful moment be ruined by a rule? One I should know since Mom writes the rules. Chloe clears her throat and points to Mr. Duncan's walkie-talkie. You could just call the office, she says. The carpool line needs to keep moving, he says. Please, Mr. Duncan, Chloe begs. We need to go work on our project. Do it for the sake of learning, for the sake of literature. A very slight smile appears on his face. He begrudgingly pulls out the walkie-talkie. Duncan, to front office. There's a crackling noise and then the familiar voice of Mrs. Owens, who works in the office. Yes, Mr. Duncan. I have Allie West here with me. He looks down at me. I scuff my shoe on the sidewalk. Does she have permission to go home with Chloe Alvarez? She does not have a note. In the background, I can hear Mom. Sorry, I forgot to write one. Yes, let her go, Mr. Duncan. There are some laughs from the line, but Mr. Steve Duncan is focused on the job at hand. He pulls open the back door of Mrs. Alvarez's car, motions for us to climb in, and says, have a wonderful afternoon. Wow, I feel like the queen of Carpool Kingdom.